A third facelift. Let that sink in. Not one, not two, but a third. Imagine a celebrity at 64 years old, not just admitting to going under the knife again, but throwing the doors open and giving you the gruesome, bloody play-by-play of the whole ordeal. We're not talking about some vague, oh, I had a little something done. We're talking drains coming out of their chin, stitches in their eyelids, and a level of honesty so raw it feels like it should be illegal in Hollywood. And the best part? She's laughing about it the entire time. This isn't your typical celebrity secret. This is Kathy Griffin, and she's holding a masterclass in not giving a single damn. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you are here for the real, unfiltered truth bombs that most of Hollywood tries to bury, then you are in the exact right place. Do me a solid and smack that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because today we are diving headfirst into a story that is equal parts hilarious, shocking, and honestly, incredibly refreshing. So let's get right into it. Kathy Griffin, the queen of controversial comedy, the woman who built a career on saying the things no one else would dare to, just dropped a video titled New Face, Same Kathy. And boy does it deliver. She pops on screen and just lays it all out there. "It's my third," she says, talking about her facelift. "I know, that's so vain. I'm so vain for no reason." And you have to just stop and appreciate the sheer, unadulterated self-awareness in that statement. This isn't a celebrity trying to sell you a $300 magical celery-infused skin cream or telling you her secret to eternal youth is just drinking a lot of water and getting good sleep. No, Kathy's out here like, yeah, I paid a highly skilled professional to yank the crap out of my face and neck. What of it? And this is the core of what makes Kathy Griffin, well, Kathy Griffin. She immediately follows up with this gem. No one has ever gone to a Kathy Griffin show to see her beautiful, youthful face. You come to hear my jokes, which is what I want. I don't want you to come to care what I look like. And right there is the whole game. In an industry where women in particular are pressured to be ageless porcelain dolls from the moment they hit 30, she's completely severing the link between her appearance and her value. Her product is her comedy. Her face is just her face. And if she wants to get it reupholstered every few years, that's her business, and she's more than happy to make it your entertainment. It's a power move, honestly. She's taking the narrative that the tabloids would try to use against her, oh my god, Kathy Griffin's plastic surgery obsession, and she's owning it so hard that there's nothing left for them to say. It's brilliant. But then the story gets even better, because she walks us through the process. So how does one choose the person who will be responsible for, slicing up their multi-million-dollar face? Well, apparently, you do it the same way we choose a restaurant. You look at the reviews. But her review was a little unconventional. She says she chose her surgeon, Dr. Ben Talay, for one very specific reason. He did Sia's facelift. Yes, you heard me right. Sia, the pop superstar whose entire brand for the better part of a decade was built around not showing her face. The woman who wore giant wigs specifically so she could be an anonymous celebrity. That Sia got a facelift. And Kathy, in her infinite comedic wisdom, saw this and thought, that's my guy. She explains, there's a video of her without her backwards wig, and she even gave him an award, and she had the best before and after pictures I've ever seen. The logic is so beautifully chaotic that you can't help but respect it. She literally said, it's funny that Sia even got a facelift because you don't ever see her face, but the picture sold me. That is peak consumer confidence right there. It's like buying a car because the guy who lives in a submarine gave it a 5-star review. It makes no sense, and yet it makes all the sense in the world. It's a testament to how good this surgeon's work must be that it convinced someone based on the results of a client who's professionally incognito. Now, this is where the story pivots from funny and sarcastic to brutally, uncomfortably real. This is my favorite part because it's where she just demolishes the polished, sanitized Hollywood version of cosmetic surgery. You always hear these celebrities on talk shows saying, oh, it was a breeze, a little lunchtime procedure, I was in and out. They make getting a facelift sound like getting your teeth cleaned. Well, Kathy Griffin comes in like a wrecking ball of truth and shatters that entire illusion. She looks dead into her camera and says, I'm gonna be honest, it's painful. She talks about having stitches in her eyelids and just calls out the liars directly. So these bitches that are like, it's like getting a tooth filled, it's nothing. No, it's painful. Thank you. Finally, someone just admitting that having your skin surgically lifted off your skull and stitched back on might be a tad uncomfortable. It's so absurdly refreshing. And she doesn't stop there. She goes on to describe the recovery process, and she does not sugarcoat it, not even a little bit. She says, you come home, and maybe you come home with a nurse, and it's disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. This is the part that no one ever talks about. The part that isn't glamorous or ready for Instagram. She continues, the first night there's drains that come out of your chin. I know, it's so gross. Can you just picture that? You spend all this money to look better, to feel more confident, and your first night you're at home looking like a botched science experiment with tubes of fluid hanging out of your jaw. It's the kind of horrifying detail that makes you physically cringe, but it's so important because it's the truth. It's the price of admission for these kinds of procedures. But then she delivers the punchline to this whole gruesome tale. After describing the pain, the stitches, the disgusting drains, she says, but the vanity takes over. And that right there is the most honest thing anyone in her position could possibly say. It's that internal bargain we all make on some level. It's like suffering through a brutal workout because you know you'll feel amazing afterwards, or studying for a final exam that feels like torture because you know the A+ will be worth it. This is just the extreme Hollywood, face-peeling version of that. It's a raw psychological insight. The desire to see that final, new and improved version of yourself in the mirror is powerful enough to make you endure the temporary body horror. And what's really interesting is that this wave of radical honesty isn't just a one-woman show by Kathy Griffin. The article points out a larger trend, and it's a fascinating one. It's becoming, dare I say, cool to be honest about the work you've had done. Take a guy like Joel McHale. You know him from Community, The Soup, funny guy. Back in June, he was on a podcast, We Might Be Drunk, and just casually dropped that he'd had his 4th hair transplant. 4th! He didn't just admit it, he was recommending his doctor, talking about the process, and he even gave out some solid consumer advice. He said, I can get you a name of a guy in Turkey, but just make sure, because if somebody's like, I'll do it for $3,000, then you don't do it. You get what you pay for. This is fantastic. It's practical, it's honest, and it's a guy, in a world where male vanity is still kind of a taboo subject, just owning it completely. He's not pretending he was blessed with a magical hairline that defies aging. He's like, nope, it's science, it's expensive, and don't go to a back alley butcher to get it done. It's the same energy as Kathy Griffin, just applied to the male side of the cosmetic coin. And of course, you can't talk about cosmetic procedure transparency without mentioning the trailblazers of the modern era, the Jenner-Kendall clan. The article gives a nod to Kylie and Jenner, and it's true. They've been central to this whole cultural shift. Remember the whole Kylie Jenner lip filler saga? For what felt like an eternity, the official story was, I'm just really good at overlining my lips with liner. The entire internet knew that wasn't the full story, but it was the official line. Then when she finally came out and admitted to getting fillers, it was a massive cultural moment. And look what happened. She didn't get canceled. She built a billion-dollar cosmetics empire on the back of that very revelation. Her brand became synonymous with that look. What all this points to, from Kathy's facelift to Joel's hair plugs to Kylie's lips, is a massive shift away from the era of I woke up like this. For decades, the Hollywood rule was to deny. Any suggestion you had work done was an insult. It implied you weren't a natural beauty. But now the pendulum is swinging. In a world saturated with social media, filters, and Facetune, I think people are just exhausted by the lies. We know that 55-year-old actress doesn't have the skin of a 22-year-old because she eats kale. We know that guy's hairline didn't magically reappear. And so my personal take on this, my positive opinion, is that what Kathy Griffin is doing is not just funny, it's genuinely important. It's a public service. She is using her platform to demystify and destigmatize something that is incredibly common in her world, but is usually shrouded in secrecy and shame. She's stripping away the glamour and showing the painful, gross, and disgusting reality of it, which is more powerful than any denial. It allows people to have a more realistic conversation about beauty standards, aging, and the choices people make. It's not about whether plastic surgery is good or bad, it's about honesty. When celebrities lie about it, they set an impossible, unattainable standard for regular people. It makes you look in the mirror and think, why don't I look like that? What am I doing wrong? The answer is you're not doing anything wrong. You just don't have a line of credit with Dr. Ben Talay. In a world of carefully curated perfection, someone like Kathy Griffin is a breath of fresh, unfiltered post-op air. And for that, whether you love her comedy or not, you have to give her some serious respect. She really is new face, same Kathy. And that Kathy is, as always, brutally and hilariously honest. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you here for this new era in celebrity transparency? Does it change how you view these procedures? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching.